Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. In today's video, we'll discuss the SEC and the strange developments at Coinbase. Bitcoin Coinbase stock has broken out, shooting up more than 30%. Spot Bitcoin ETF applications from these large institutions were resubmitted this week, right? Coinbase, a company that helped found BC, had a 92% increase in their chart. The SEC has been after the Wyckoffs for quite some time now. In addition, but this graph is quite odd, perhaps something nefarious is happening at Coinbase. It's pumping, folks, and it will probably keep pumping up until the collapse, right? But they're going to catch everyone by surprise, so let us explain. When it happens, the entire system will fail. Reasons why this is so peculiar are explained below. You can't make this stuff up, guys. Senior officials at Coinbase, including CEO Brian Armstrong, have liquidated significant quantities of shares and coin currency. If so, why? Brian has made his biggest stock sell to date, at almost $5.8 million. Once more, 13. How about if I see the number 33 or 13 again, dudes? Finished with me. Right? My sanity appears to be rapidly deteriorating. All over the place, right? But look at this. Thus, Coinbase upper management. While you're buying up shares, they're selling to you at a loss, even if the price is rising. I take it Bay is progressively unloading his stock. Or stock. But look at this. I felt it important to bring out the fact that Coinbase CEO, Brian Armstrong, is not the only one involved. Coinbase only has 3 or 4 top executives, so why are they still there? Are you mimicking Brian Armstrong's actions? Is Armstrong on the right track? In what did they have a vested interest? They would invest in the company if they believed it was a good one. First, I'm assuming everything will work out okay in the end. And shares will continue to rise. Right? Plus, I need to clarify something. I believe their motivation is to liquidate all of their stock holdings before the inevitable market crash. Right. They would only be fooling themselves if they thought no one would notice if they dumped all their stock immediately before the crash. You can't predict when a cryptocurrency market will crash, therefore the SEC would likely go after Coinbase employees who sold shares just before a crash. That might have just happened to be a lucky coincidence. This explains why they've decided to liquidate their stock. The dam will begin to fall gradually but progressively. Take a look at what transpired in 2001. So, you guys remember what happened, right? They correctly removed a large number of gold bars. Actually, during that time, people who weren't in on the inside started shorting certain stocks, so there is an official reason why they're doing this, and some people are saying it's scheduled, while others are saying it isn't. A proper timetable for sales. But the fact that this occurred today makes it much stranger. If you believe the tweets of Coinbase founder, Brian Armstrong, you must be jesting. There's definitely something off about what Brian Armstrong is up to. It's finally your turn? Right? Coinbase is a bunch of weirdos once again. Hey, if you think Coinbase is secure, hear me out. They will, of course, steal your money. How could you possibly think that Coinbase or BlackRock are on your side when Coinbase has the backing of BlackRock? When the inevitable collapse finally comes, they will have accomplished their initial goal, stealing all the money from their people or the retailers. They plan to rev it up once more. Right. Guys, there will be no doubt about it, that's just what I feel, what I think, right? Let's simply be ready for anything that could happen. Anyway, let's begin. There was some major news for the SEC today. Right. Even just the day before, we were discussing the benefits of libraries. The timing of this is insane. Consistency is key. Look at this. Reading the hashtags led me to believe that the verdict in the Ripple vs. SEC lawsuit had already been reached. In contrast, the court has handed down its ruling on the remedies at issue in the library case. U.S. District Court, right this second if you guys want to check it out. Summary judgment was granted in favor of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, on his assertion that the library in question engaged in unlawful unregistered offers of securities. Library has filed a petition to restrict SEC remedies in response to Libre's request that the court issue an injunction prohibiting Libre from breaching the Securities Act and from taking part in any future unregistered offers of crypto securities. Libre has asked the court to order Library to pay a civil penalty of $111,614 and to impose such an injunction. They will also be subject to a civil fine for this incident. Is there a possible connection to the Ripple v. SEC case? Right? As a result, Libre was awarded an ace, while Scott was given a relatively light fine. Both outcomes are satisfactory. But hold for a second, because they went bankrupt doing it. The most the SEC could get out of them was a token fine. They may have appealed in some way. Right? When it didn't suit their purposes, the SEC virtually annihilated libraries and individual investors. Exactly. The day of reckoning has come, men, can't you see? What if the library actually did this? The Ruble instance must be unique, right? But because there are different judges and such, let's see. But they should verify this with a library visit. Following the release of the SEC's final judgment on slavery and in keeping with the court's decision and our previous commitments, Library Inc. will spend the next few months winding down operations. Right. Concerning the future of the library. That, of course, is your call. Because, I'm not really familiar with library men. A cryptocurrency, I believe. Right? And, of course, a business venture. But if those men and you are correct, it is decentralized. Everything is open source and available for everyone to see. Also, if Ripple were to disappear, XRP would still be the proper answer when I say Mr. X or PL and XRP. And the XRP blockchain will continue to function, correct? Since this is controlled centrally. And then, guys, in the end, it's up to you because I think they're pretty much done, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think I hear the library's CEO entering the room. The law is something I've always wanted to follow, he says. So, people are making an effort to do the right thing. We warned you that the SEC doesn't give a hoot about the disappearance of those percentage points, and yet here we are. Remember what I told you, the question of whether or not the universe is Newtonian is irrelevant. I'll tell you what's more important though. I have no doubt that Ripple will win their lawsuit against the SEC because of the damn ties. We're going to state right now that everything hinges on the damn connections, people, right? Now, there's a common misconception that rebels live in apartments. Obviously SEC is terrified of central bankers and governments, right? Some government departments and agencies probably wouldn't want to leave. And what does that tell you? In my opinion, 100% rule triumph, but this is by no means assured. So let's listen closely, keeping in mind that neither the SEC nor a federal judge can give me an authoritative interpretation of the law. Do I understand that the SEC is basically making up as they go along? Guys like him are just pulling laws out of thin air, and I have no regard for the American government for thinking this way or apologizing for disagreeing with it if it does. While the NSA and the third party have never denied the illegality of their actions, the library has never done so either. So now Jeremy, an attorney, is speaking his mind. The SEC has issued their final decision regarding Circle. First of all, that is going to be one wild day. The judge did not make a decision on secondary sales in the very first library case. Wow, that's fantastic. The strange thing is that, right? Now things start to get quite strange. The judge did not rule on the secondary market transactions. Right? Is it feasible for a similar outcome here, where he violates again and receives a punishment? Is it possible to achieve a similar outcome while considering ripples? There is currently widespread curiosity about this. Possible. Wow, if these jerks notice me, I'm out of here. Right. If this is the case, you'll have to keep working on the case for several more years. How does this relate to the impending collapse? I really hope that's not the case. To grant a summary judgment, the court must determine that there is insufficient evidence to warrant a trial on the matter, which I hope they can do within the next 2 months at the latest. In addition, the court must conclude that all XRP sales, both historical and ongoing, constitute investment contracts before any injunctive action may be granted. As a result, the judgment has served as little market advice and has not safeguarded anyone. If anything, it has damaged everyone concerned, which is simply another feather in the SEC's cap. If you want to know why the coin with the library has been dying, just look at the numbers right now. Let's do some quick math. Right now, it's down by like 90%, which is insane. Wow. Again, I don't know what to tell you people, but the SEC isn't protecting anyone if the SEC released the Ripple case right around this time. That reign was around 70% accurate. There was probably a lot of insider trading and manipulation going on at the time, and I'm betting that the wills were a big reason for it. Also, I doubt they're making a fortune doing this, what with going after such large corporations. Scooping up coins at low prices from those who are selling them. Who the heck knows what you're doing, folks, but the SEC has missed every big conspiracy in the crypto so far, from having meetings with SPF himself to allowing Prometheum and a few others that I wrecked red flag a year in advance, right? Even though their mantra is we have to protect retail, they have never done so whenever the retail sector was confronted with a major economic or political event. But I suppose they are, too, as they are targeting key escorts and players. This has nothing to do with Libri. No aid to the market from a ruling on whether the LBC token itself is a security, but I'm talking about other initiatives out there right now. We all know that most cryptocurrencies will disappear at some point. The judge ignored the major questions doctrine and just avoided the subject. So, just to be clear, cow course, right? The whole case did nothing but injure one company and its employees. So much for judicial certainty, I guess. So, right now, you guys. I also turned down invitations from the Mickeys and the libraries to decide if LPCs is, in fact, a security measure. However, it is true that's incredibly stupid, right guys? The risk is very real. As with the Red Bull case, Taurus will probably avoid addressing the question of whether or not XRP is a security. Is there any chance that the Ripple Group will succeed? If that's the case, they're definitely putting off something important. If not, then I hope it wraps up around here quickly. Right? After that, John, the verdict has been rendered, and as you can see, it's better than the alternative. With all due respect, John, I don't see how this is an improvement over the status quo. That's what the SEC wants. It doesn't want to judge whether or not tokens sold on secondary markets are securities until it rules on pending actions against, presumably, exchanges. Once more, fellas, it appears like they declared bankruptcy, right? However, it is likely that they have already spent all the money they have to keep fighting, right, Ripple? I've seen too many versions of $1 Million Baby and Liverpool vs. ZK to doubt that Ripple can hold their own in a fight. However, it's likely that some can't, especially smaller businesses. Right? There has been no decision made on LBC resales. Tolkien may have been a blessing in disguise, but now all eyes are on Josh Torres, who will rule on XRP in the secondary market, because as he included it and its overboard approach to Ripple now that we know just what XRP holders were thinking when they bought XRP and the SEC failed to produce any individual investment contracts. This is why you should be extremely cautious about investing in certain coins. I have no idea what's going to happen with the library guys, but it seems like they're going away right now and their company is at least winding down over the next several months. You people want 67 coins or something? Right? Just saying. Let's get ready to see what occurs, as we are most certainly venturing into uncharted territory at the moment. Let's not make our plans based on our ages or our bank accounts. I haven't checked in on this in years, but I think Ripple is almost ready to roll. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.